Thank you for tuning in to the Keeping It Real with KC podcast, a no judgment zone podcast that covers lifestyle, entertainment, news, and sports. Even though KC doesn't watch sports, but these are minor details. By the way, he reads tarot cards too. Yes, I really mean it. He reads tarot cards too. And now, the host you've tuned in for, KC Phoenix.
Welcome back to the Keeping It Real with KC podcast. I, of course, am your host, KC Phoenix, and so we're talking about the PS5 again. I haven't talked about it in a while. I mentioned it briefly in passing when I was doing my Mercury retrograde reading. But, or was it that reading? It was one of my readings. There's something that was going on with Mercury retrograde, and I'll discuss that in a second. But before I go any further, KIRWKC.com, main podcasting platform. This podcast is carried on Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Overcast, Bullhorn, Amazon Music, Audible, and several other podcasting platforms. Please feel free to listen to this podcast on whatever platform is most convenient for you. KIRWKC on all the social media platforms. All right, let's talk about the PS5. I've mentioned it on and off. For some who may not know, I mentioned it in passing. I actually had the opportunity, because clearly they're hard to get right now. They've been hard to get since they came out. I was able to get the Series X, but I wasn't able to get the PS5 because I was trying to get them at the same time. But with the PS5, I had the opportunity. It was a week ago, I think, give or take, or a week and a half ago, to buy it. It was available on GameStop, of all places, but it was a used PS5. And I was kind of like, should I, shouldn't I, maybe, possibly, kinda. And then it hit me that we were in Mercury retrograde. For those who don't know, because my listeners listen to different things on my podcast, because I talk about literally just about everything except politics. And for those who aren't familiar with Mercury retrograde, one of the things that you should not do, you can, but you shouldn't, during Mercury retrograde is buy electronics. Because usually if you buy electronics during Mercury retrograde, you might have issues. Also, there can still be issues with electronics during Mercury retrograde too. But definitely buying electronics, if you have to, it is what it is. But if you can avoid not doing it, recommend it. So I was like, wow, this is a used PS5. I was like, the price is actually pretty decent. And as I was inching closer towards it, I was like, oh snap, it's Mercury retrograde. And I just didn't get it. So yeah, let me go ahead and get to this article that I am looking at. For those who are watching the video, you can see it says Sony is still struggling with PS5 supply. This is from The Verge. And it's from today. It says Sony shipped just 3.9 million PlayStation 5 consoles in its all-important holiday quarter, a slight bump over the previous quarter's figure of 3.3 million, demonstrating how the electronics giant is still struggling to meet the demand during the ongoing global supply chain crunch. 17.3 million units in total have been shipped as of December 31st, nearly 3 million fewer than the PlayStation 4 had managed at the equivalent point after its release. The PS4, however, was easily found on store shelves during its first year on sale, whereas we don't yet have a good measure of true demand for the PS5. The gaming division's revenue was down 8% year on year to 813.3 billion yen, which is about $7.09 billion. But operating profit rose 12.1% to 92.9 billion yen, which is $810 million. That's what you'd expect a year removed from a major console launch. Sony still can't make enough loss making PS5 hardware, but that has a positive effect on the bottom line this early into the product's life cycle. PlayStation is now Sony's most important individual division, accounting for more than a quarter of the company's overall revenue. Oh, that's a lot. And almost a quarter of its operating profit. Sony has revised its full year 2021 gaming revenue forecast down by 6% to 2.73 trillion yen because of lower than expected PS5 sales, indicating its supply challenges are going to continue for the short term at least. The operating profit forecast has been increased 6% to 345 billion yen. Accordingly, full year PS5 shipments are now expected to reach 11.5 million units, down from 14.8 million. Sony's crucial image sensor division had a good quarter, with sales increasing 22% year on year to 57.8 billion yen, which is $504 million. Operating profit was up 26% to 13.3 billion yen, $116 million, though Sony attributes 12 billion yen of that to the weakening yen. Sony says the revenue jump was thanks to higher sales of image sensors for smartphone cameras, a larger portion of which were premium products. The movie division saw a huge increase in revenue, jumping 141% year on year to 461.2 billion yen, or 4.02 billion dollars. Spider-Man No Way Home and Venom Let There Be Carnage contributed to much higher theatrical revenues than the year before, while Sony says its TV productions business got a boost licensing Seinfeld. I didn't know they owned the licensing the Seinfeld. Go figure. Okay. So yeah, that is interesting. All right, let me go ahead and talk about this briefly. Yeah, the PS5, I believe I mentioned this. One of my friends who worked on God of War, he has the PS5. He got it when it first came out. And we had talked later, and he's like, and we both were not playing our systems at the time. I play my Series X a whole lot more now than versus because I've had it for a little bit over a year now, versus when I got it when it first came out. But when we talked, like maybe 2 to 3 months after we got our systems, he's like, we both have paperweights. Mine is just a fancier looking paperweight, is what he has said. But he's just like, it's okay. And honestly, the only reason I want the PlayStation 5 is for God of War. That's it. I'm very, very happy with my Xbox Series X, even though it's been acting a little cray-cray this past week and a half, but we might attribute that to Mercury retrograde and just it's whatever. So yeah, and regardless, I have a warranty on it because, I got it from Best Buy. I always get the warranty, which, by the way, if you're interested in information about the Total Tech warranty type setup and all that jazz from Best Buy, scroll through my podcast. It's an older episode, so you're gonna have to go through because I have a lot of podcast episodes. But you'll eventually find it, and I explain how that breaks down, because when they were mentioning the Total Tech warranty and all, I didn't understand it. I had to call and do this and do that and figure out what was what, and I got the detailed information on how everything works now. So yeah, totally cool. Best Buy rocks for the most part. But as for the PS5, I still plan on getting one. If it's a used one, I might do it now that Mercury is out. Well, retrograde ends tomorrow, February 3rd. Post retrograde is 7 to 10 days, so yeah, I'm looking to see if I can get one. But part of me is like, I haven't even finished beating the games that I have on my Xbox yet. So yeah, I'm on that. And also, I've been addicted to the Avengers game on my Xbox. I don't know why. It's just like, I love the Avengers game. I like that type of stuff. But if you're looking for a PS5, if I were you, I'd wait it out. I'm just one of those people where it's like paying $700, $800, $1,000, which at first they've already went down, because remember, they were like $1,000 at first, and now they're barely that. And after the economy crashes, they're really going to go down. So if you don't have a PS5 right now, just wait it out. The price will go down more. It's not that deep. And a lot of people, one thing that I noticed is that people were buying the Xbox Series S, as in, I don't know what starts with an S. SpongeBob. I'm saying that because I have a SpongeBob figure in my area. So yeah, as a matter of fact, I'll show it to you. The friend who worked on God of War, he's the one who bought it for me. Let me show it to you right quick. It only takes a second. Is this? He got this for me when I lived in LA. Isn't it cute? So yeah, which I have to call him because he's not in LA anymore. He's in New York now, and I know New York's been getting like that crazy storm and everything else. So I need to check on him and see how he's doing. But yeah, he bought me the SpongeBob thing when he came over to my house one day, or apartment. But yeah, so Xbox S's and SpongeBob. And from the reviews that I heard, they really like the Xbox S, the people who bought it. Me, I'm just old school. I want a disc. The whole digital thing, because I know some people are like, well, KC, you're going to have to upload it to the hard drive anyway. Yeah, but I'd still rather have the physical game. And I mean, it's a sword that cuts both ways. Because with my Avengers, let me tell you what happened. I'm pretty sure I mentioned this in one of my episodes, just in passing. I messed up my Avengers disc. I was taking it out and then it slipped and it scratched the entire disc. Luckily, I'm subscribed to Game Pass right now, so I don't have to put in the disc to play the Avengers game that's already on my Xbox hard drive. But when Avengers leaves Game Pass, then obviously I'm going to have to buy the actual Avengers disc again, which the price will probably have dropped anyway. So yeah, I'm not that worried about it. I'll just buy another Avengers game, and this time I'll buy the insurance that Best Buy offers, the warranty, because I didn't get it last time. Because I usually don't buy it for the game disc. I just get it for the systems and the major electronics stuff. But yeah, that's what's going on. So Sony is still struggling with PS5 supply. Everybody is struggling with supply issues right now. I can't even get my black beans that I usually get from Target, because there's these low sodium black beans that I like to get, and for the past 3 weeks they haven't had any. I mean, 1 week they had 1 can, but usually they used to have a lot of cans of the low sodium black beans, and now they don't have them. And then there's other stuff that's been missing in Target shelves, but luckily the stuff I usually buy, they usually have in stock for the most part. But Sony is like all other companies around the world, are dealing with supply chain issues. And the only thing I think about with the supply chain issues, because I was thinking about this with my Xbox, because I was like, on the off chance that I do have to utilize my warranty for my Xbox Series X, getting a replacement would probably be an issue. And on top of that, if it's not a replacement and it's just a part that needs to be replaced, will they be able to get the part in a reasonable amount of time? I just think about these things. So yeah, third world, here we come. It's all good. So that's all I have. That's what's going on. I just wanted to cover Sony right quick. Glad they made money off of Spider-Man. I still have not seen No Way Home, but I have pre-ordered it. So as soon as it's available in March, I will be watching it at home. Yeah, so No Way Home, watching it at home. Spider-Man, watching Spider-Man at home. I don't know. That's all I have. Thanks for tuning in. As usual, KIRWKC.com, main podcasting platform. This podcast is carried on Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Overcast, Bullhorn, Amazon Music, Audible, and several other podcasting platforms. Please feel free to listen to this podcast on whatever platform is most convenient for you. KIRWKC on all the social media platforms. Until next time, be blessed.